Imagine ruling nations, navigating ruthless political intrigue, and shaping history, all while the world watches your every move. These queens weren't just figures of elegance and power, they were warriors, strategists, visionaries, and sometimes rebels. Their lives were marked by secrets, sacrifices, and the untold stories that shaped the course of history. What didn't make it into the history books will shock you. Throughout history, queens have been revered and scrutinized, celebrated, and vilified. From Cleopatra to Queen Victoria, their names echo through time. But the truth about their reigns? That often lies hidden behind layers of myth, propaganda, and incomplete records. These queens were more than just figureheads, they were game changers. They built empires, challenged societal norms, and often paid a steep price for their power. In this video, we'll uncover the untold stories of some of the most famous queens in history. Stories of betrayal, forbidden love, defiance, and courage that go beyond the polished portraits and romanticized tales. Stay tuned because the twists and turns in their lives will keep you hooked until the very end. Cleopatra is one of history's most iconic queens, often remembered for her beauty and romances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. But her untold story goes far deeper. Did you know Cleopatra was a brilliant linguist who spoke at least 9 languages? She wasn't just a seductress, she was a shrewd diplomat who single-handedly kept Egypt independent for years in the face of Rome's expanding power. And then there's the mystery surrounding her death. The popular narrative is that she died by a self-inflicted snakebite, but some historians believe she was assassinated to eliminate a political threat to Rome. Was her death a final act of defiance, or a carefully orchestrated murder? Empress Wu of the Tang dynasty broke every rule in the book. She began as a concubine, rose through the ranks, and ultimately declared herself emperor, an unprecedented move in Chinese history. What's often untold is the sheer brilliance of her political strategies. Wu leveraged Buddhism to justify her reign, commissioning texts that portrayed her as a divine ruler. Her reign was marked by stability and prosperity, but also by ruthless purges of her enemies. Was she a tyrant or a visionary leader who shattered the glass ceiling in a deeply patriarchal society? Mary's story is often overshadowed by her cousin, Queen Elizabeth I of England, but her life was a roller coaster of drama and danger. Forced to abdicate her throne, imprisoned for nearly 2 decades, and ultimately executed, Mary's untold story lies in her resilience. Did you know that even in captivity, she plotted to regain her throne and sought to overthrow Elizabeth? The infamous Babington plot was her final gamble, a plot that cost Mary her life. Was she a victim of circumstances, or an active conspirator in her downfall? Queen Nzinga of Angola is one of the most underappreciated figures in history. She ruled during a time when European colonial powers were aggressively expanding into Africa. Nzinga fought back fiercely, leading armies against Portuguese invaders and forming strategic alliances to protect her people. But here's what's often untold. Nzinga wasn't just a warrior, she was a master negotiator. In one famous instance, during peace negotiations, the Portuguese refused to offer her a chair. Nzinga, refusing to be demeaned, sat on the back of one of her servants to face her opponents at eye level. Queen Victoria's name is synonymous with an era of progress and expansion. But beneath the surface of her 63-year reign lay struggles and secrets. Did you know that Victoria survived multiple assassination attempts? Or that she had a deep and controversial relationship with her Scottish servant, John Brown, after the death of Prince Albert? Her untold story also includes her private grief. Victoria mourned Albert for the rest of her life, wearing black for decades and retreating from public life for years. Behind the image of a stern and stoic monarch was a woman deeply shaped by love and loss. Catherine is often remembered for modernizing Russia and expanding its borders. But did you know her rise to power involved a coup against her own husband, Peter III? Catherine was a prolific writer and patron of the arts, corresponding with great thinkers like Voltaire. However, her reign wasn't without scandal. Rumors about her personal life and her relationships with various lovers have overshadowed her intellectual and political achievements. Was Catherine a scandalous ruler or a misunderstood reformer? Queens throughout history have been far more than just figureheads. They were warriors, diplomats, visionaries, and sometimes even villains. Their untold stories reveal the complexities of power and the challenges they faced as women in a male-dominated world. Each of these queens, in their own way, changed the course of history. But their stories also remind us that power comes at a price. Which queen's story inspired you the most? Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button for more captivating content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.